Hi.
Hi, welcome to Tea and Coffee Talks. And this is with Shea and Cecily. And we just want to chit chat about a couple of our favorite things and let you see what we really like and as we have our little breakfast.
Yeah.
So, do we want to talk about what we're eating or how we start or?
Well, it was a little chaotic this morning.
Mm-hmm.
We started with getting our food together and then figuring out what we were going to talk about and then setting up. I was just saying how we really need a crew.
We do need a group.
It takes a village, and we don't have that village right now.
We don't. So why don't you jump into some of your favorites?
Okay, I wrote down a couple of things. My most favorite item is an oven liner.
I love that.
These oven liners are the best. You put them in the bottom of your oven. We're gonna open this. This is like a gift from my friend.
I've never seen that.
It's so good. It's black.
Which makes sense for the bottom of the oven.
You just stick it in the. It's like this. You just stick it in the bottom of your oven.
Oh, it's like a silicone.
Yeah. You stick it in the bottom of your oven and on the floor of the oven, underneath the element. And as you cook, things get, you know how things fall on.
Yes.
Things fall down there when it gets grimy.
That's great.
You just pull it out
and clean it,
and stick it right back in. And
now this is the same material that I have for a grill outside. This is a grill mat as well. Same material. You put this directly on the grill and cook on it. It's interesting. Wow,
yeah, it's my favorite. And I found it at the Christmas tree shop.
Oh, okay, that's great.
Then I went back to get it and they didn't have any more, and I kind of almost freaked out. So
that's great.
Glad I found it again.
I am too. That's really terrific.
Honestly, if you really don't like cleaning the oven,
that's so funny because this is a mat that I use on a cookie sheet so that I don't have to grease it. I don't have to use parchment.
It's like a silk hat.
It's like a what?
A silk hat.
Yes, and it's blank on one side, and it has the markings on the other. So I really love that. That's one of my favorite
because
pieces.
If you're making biscuits or whatever,
exactly, it's pre-measured, pre-cut.
Yeah, it's really great.
So I like that. So what's your next item?
My next item, this little ice cream scoop.
Ooh,
I love this ice cream scoop because when you feel it, it's heavy.
Oh wow,
it's weighted.
It's like a
and
weapon.
So it had. I know. We love a good weapon.
Yeah.
But what it does is when you scoop it into the ice cream, if your ice cream is hard, it kind of melts a little bit, so it makes it easier to get in and.
So you think it's the weight that does that?
No, I think it's something in here that gives it a little warmth and.
Okay.
Yeah, so
that's
I don't know what it is, but it doesn't do anything bad to your ice cream, except make it easier for you to get it out of the container.
And
what's your favorite thing?
My next item is a French rolling pin. I love this, and it's a small size, fits in your hand nicely, so that when you have your mat here, for instance, that's the other thing I use this mat for, put the flour and the dough on here, and you can just roll it out. It really, really is just so terrific. And they call it French because of its shape. It doesn't have the handles on either end. This is something that we'll definitely have in our Amazon shop because these are easy to find, easy to have, to store. It's not like a big rolling pin that you've got to put someplace.
Actually,
and they come all
I have
sizes.
the big one. I do.
Yeah, but they come all sizes, which is
do.
great.
That's really cool.
This is one of my favorites. And you?
Let's see. Oh, the next thing I have on my list is this little tweezer tongue.
I love that.
I use this all the time. I don't know if you can see it. It's really cute.
I love
Got it from the kitchen supply store. And I use it when I'm turning bacon, or if you want to pick up tiny little things and move it around. This is a godsend and a lifesaver. I love this thing.
And so much better than tongs.
Yeah.
I really like it. Okay, my next items, it's kind of like a double item. It's they're both silicone. One is a bottle washer and glass washer, so that you can get way down in the glass and bottle.
You need to get all the way down.
Really get it clean, especially water bottles.
Yeah.
This is especially good for a water bottle, and this for basting. And what I love about this also has the silicone. What I love about these is that they can go right into the dishwasher and get super clean. Because a lot of times if you have regular basters or regular brush that you're brushing your glasses or bottles with, they just don't get clean.
Yeah.
So that's what I love about those. So
Yeah.
those are favorite items.
Yeah. Well, what's my next thing?
Yeah.
The next thing I have, we're still talking about food. My wooden spoons.
Love those. And those are nice.
Love these spoons. I use them all the time. I have a whole set of them, but these I use a lot because I like the flat top edge.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's hard to find the ones with the flat top edge.
Mm-hmm.
You get in. You can sometimes, if you want to scrape a little bit or get around. I wash them with soap and water, and then I dry them myself. I don't let them because I don't want them to warp or anything like that.
Right.
So that's what I usually do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sort of like with your cutting boards. I don't put them in the dishwasher. I wash them. Mine split sometimes too. But what you can do is you can get some mineral oil and just like rub a little mineral oil on it, and that'll preserve it a little bit.
Okay. So another item that I love so much are these little shears. These shears are terrific for when you're pruning your plants or when you have fresh flowers and you just have to really get up in, and a regular size scissor is too big. I really love these. They fit nicely in your hand. They're especially good for house plants, floral arrangements. I don't know, and you probably could use it outside for your herbs. Like when we start to do our whole herb thing, we can like snip the little herbs. That'll be a whole thing that we do next.
And I like the fact that
herbs.
I like the fact that you can do that. You have more.
Exactly.
Normally you just have to do this, but this makes it easier to
your whole
hold on
hand
to.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, what else do I have? Speaking of, I have these little snippers. It has a little safety holder, and then I use these I only use these for when I buy flowers and I want to snip the edges, or sometimes I use them on plants. Like, sometimes when the plant, the tip of it gets a little brown and dead.
Right.
And I usually just snip it off and call it a day.
Great.
I keep them handy. I keep these right in the kitchen on the side.
Yeah.
Because I use these all the time.
Between the two of these scissors, you do just about everything. And then my final thing is, this is really kind of big, this set of measuring cups. I love this. I really, really love this. So it starts from 1 cup and it goes all the way up to 8 quarts. The big, this big one. It has liters, it has quarts, it has cups, ounces, everything you could want. And it's funny because you want your measuring cups, usually have smaller ones, but this is so good because there are times when you need to measure big stuff. And when you have to measure something really big, there's nothing like this. So I keep this put away, and the ones that I only keep handy are these 3. The 1, the 2, and the 4. Those are the ones I keep.
That's actually good because sometimes if you have more than 1 cup or 2 cups, you don't want to have to keep going back and forth. You can just use one and
you don't want to have to dry it, wet ingredients, dry ingredients.
Exactly.
So this is my absolute fave measuring, and would suggest getting a nesting set like that. And I think that's really about it. The final thing that I do.
I have one thing.
Okay, go ahead. One last thing.
My final thing is kind of big. I have an Immersion Blender.
Nice.
Mine comes with a bunch of attachments. So the regular immersion part is this little stick thing right here. And you just, whiz it up, whatever.
Or whatever.
Exactly. If you're making tomato soup with fresh tomatoes. So what about if you're making your soup and then you want to add garlic or whatever at the last minute, or you want to put in some herbs or whatever, onion. You just stick this part on here, stick it in. It has a little cutter,
I love
a little element. You stick it in, hit the button, whiz, 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 whiz.
I love
Take it out, pour it out, and that's it. You don't have to take out another large cooking utensil appliance to make it happen. And it, like I said, it has 2 little buttons on the side. Take it out, clean it, put it away. It's perfect. It's my favorite item. I use it all the time.
And what I love about that is because it is so compact. It's not going to take up a lot of room when you're storing it when it's
Yeah.
out of view. So I really, really like that piece.
Yeah.
And my final, speaking of little pieces, I just got this at Target. They are 2 mini charcuterie boards. I love this because they're small in size. I would say these are maybe about 6 inches,
Yeah.
roughly. And it's got the little hanger up here, but I like it, for instance, like when we get together for our coffee and tea talks, we can put our little things here.
Put condiments on.
Would have
there.
been nice to do it this morning, but we had so much. I made the little
Yeah, a lot
bunch of
going on.
cheese and the berries and the bagel, so we had a whole thing this morning. But in the future, I think these are just
I
terrific.
think that's a good idea. I
love
really
these.
do.
So I think that concludes what we have today for our favorite things.
We had a lot going on today.
Yeah,
That was
we
fun.
do. Yeah,
Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it.
And we will be back because we have so many favorite
So
things.
many things.
But we'll be back sooner
Yeah, we'll be back around Easter time.
around Easter time because we
Yeah.
have a lot of Easter
We're going
things
to share
to
a lot
show.
of Easter items with you.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks
great
for
stuff.
joining us.
Take care. Bye bye.